Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Chef Jason Morse, your Ace Hardware grill expert, and I'll tell you what, this Red Vest approved video is quite possibly one of the best ones I think we've done yet. It's prime rib time, so Thanksgiving is done. We know you had an awesome turkey. It's time now for Christmas and New Year's. It's like the best holiday ever for prime rib, and because we're helpful, check it out. We've got 2 pages of prime rib tips for you. As always, you can find these prime rib tips and more of our recipes at acehardware.com/tips. There's a little search bar up top. Type in recipes or type in 5280 Culinary. You'll find our prime rib tips. We've got horseradish sauce for you. A lot of stuff that is designed to make you an absolute prime rib legend, right? So we're gonna show you today how to select the prime rib, how to season it and add a ton of flavor. We're gonna show you how to grill it on the Weber. So we're gonna do this on propane today. Helps keep your house from smelling like prime rib. Really fills the neighborhood up with that beautiful beef essence, right? We have a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. All of our rubs that we're gonna talk about and sauces and all those things, you can find at your local Ace Hardware store or at acehardware.com as well. So we're ready to get started. We're glad to have you. Let's get cooking. So look at this. I'll tell you what, when it comes to choosing prime rib, this is what we're looking for right here. Look at all that beautiful white marbling. That is fat. Fat adds flavor, and that's for sure. We've got a beautiful 4-bone ribeye here. And the nice thing about that is we bought it bone on, which is going to help add a little bit of flavor. But I'll tell you what, you can buy it bone on, bone off. You are still definitely going to get an excellent cut of beef. Why, might you ask? Well, let's get this right here. USDA choice. That is what we pick for our prime rib. We want to make sure it's the upper 2/3 of choice. We get this beautiful marbling. Right in here, you can see that gorgeous kernel of fat. This is going to add a wonderful, wonderful flavor to our prime rib. So again, this is a 4-bone one, and look at this guy over here. This is our 18.5-pound prime rib. You may wonder, why did you buy such a huge prime rib? Well, I'll tell you what. How do you select prime rib? How much do you look for? What do you need? Well, we bought about a pound a person, right? Plus, we factored in a little bit of shrink. Plus, we factored in a little bit of leftovers, because who doesn't love shaved prime rib sandwiches the next day? So again, we factor about a bone a person, or about 14 to 16 ounces of prime rib a person, plus some shrink, plus some leftovers. So that's what we got here. We took it out of the package, and we're letting it breathe. We want it to open up a little bit. This is like a fine wine, letting it open up, letting it do its thing. And I'll tell you, the rubs we're going to talk about today, we've got our Chef's Rub-A-Dub. We've got our prime rib Rub-A-Dub. A couple different rubs that are definitely going to add a ton of flavor. Here we've got a mixture of Chef's Rub-A-Dub and Oink, just another fun little flavor. And then here we just poured it into a container so that we can grab and go and season a lot faster. So what is a prime rib, you ask? A lot of people think it means that it's prime, and that is definitely a grade of beef. Prime rib really means it's one of the 9 primal cuts of beef on the animal. That's what makes it a prime rib. This is an absolute delicious cut. Guess what? Cut this down into steaks. You've got ribeye steaks. So if you're thinking, well, that's too much, well, you can buy it now. Buy the whole one, cut some steaks and freeze them. You'll save a little bit of money. You'll be able to cut your own steaks as well. So again, look at that. I just think this is so gorgeous, right? Little meat cam action. All right, so let's get started here and figure out how we can season these guys up and add a ton of flavor. All right, so one of the things we're gonna do when it comes time to prep is we're gonna get a little bit of this tail off. We don't need all that tail on there. It's just one of those things that adds a little bit more grease or more drippings into it. So we're gonna go ahead and get that tail taken off. Then we'll take this guy up here, we'll add it into our pan, and now we wanna season it. One of the good things we're gonna do, like I said, is we're gonna start with a little Rub-A-Dub. We're gonna do a 2-part flavor on this guy. So we're gonna season it now with some Rub-A-Dub. We'll pat that on there. We'll get the top. We'll get this side. And we'll get the bottom. And again, seasoning as much or as little as you like. This is all about preference. This isn't about me saying you have to use this much or you have to use that much. Go as light or as heavy as you like. All right? The great thing here, now that we've got this seasoned, I'm gonna wrap it in plastic wrap. And I'm gonna let this sit overnight with some plastic wrap on it, because what it'll do is it'll help that seasoning suck into the meat, get a lot of flavor in here, and then when we come in the morning and get ready to season this off, then we're gonna add another bit of rub to the top. So we'll go ahead and wrap this guy, and we'll see you back here in just a minute. All right, so we wrapped this and let this sit overnight. We unwrapped it. You can see it's got nice and tacky. And now, like I said, I use that rub-a-dub to build kind of a nice flavor base. And then I'm gonna take the prime rib rub-a-dub and put that on top of that just to give it even more flavor. This is gonna be more Worcestershire, more rosemary, a little bit heavier garlic, but now we're able to kind of custom blend. We let that prime rib rub-a-dub do its thing and soak in there. And this is going to be an amazing prime rib. Look at that. So this thing's heating up, and this is like total smoke-o-vision, smell-o-vision. Smells great. We're doing a blend of pellets today. So we've got maple, apple, and cherry going in here. Keep in mind, smoke's a preference. Do you like sweeter woods? Do you like heartier woods? We love the big game blend. That puts a really good flavor in there. You can also try blending your own. A little maple, apple, cherry, a little hickory, mesquite, or oak. You've got a lot of good options. So mess around with it, have fun with it, and pick a flavor that you really like. All right, let's shut the lid and let this guy preheat. All right, we are heated up at 325. Let's get this guy open. It's ready to go. That, oh my word, look at that. Seasoned and ready to go. So we're gonna pick this guy up and we're gonna set it right in the middle. Now, we're letting this go. We're gonna let it get a good sear on it. We're gonna let it rock and roll and get ready to serve some amazing prime rib. All right, so we talked about how to pick the best prime rib. We talked about how to season it, how to smoke it, all that good stuff. And now you're wondering, well, how do I know when it's done? Well, we've got some great tips on our tip sheet for you. You can find them at acehardware.com/tips. You can download those there. Feel free to comment too in the questions. Follow us on YouTube, make some comments, ask us your questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Here's what I'll tell you about checking for doneness. Let's say you want medium prime rib, which I think is probably a pretty safe temperature for your holiday parties. If I want medium, I tend to pull mine at medium rare and let the temperature carry over. You definitely have carryover cooking when it comes to these large cuts of meat, which means you're gonna get 10 to 12 to 15 degrees in carryover. I'll take this guy out at medium rare, I'll set it on the counter in a pan, and I'll let it rest uncovered for about 10 to 15 minutes max. That's gonna get me right to my medium rare. So again, my tip to you, pull it a temperature ahead of time and let it rest into the temperature that you like. Medium, perfect for your holiday party. So we hope you've enjoyed this Red Vest video. I'm Chef Jason Morse, Ace Hardware Grill Expert, owner of 5280 Culinary. Have a great Christmas, have a wonderful holidays, and remember, comment, ask us questions, send us an email and let us know. We're here to help you. Happy cooking, enjoy your prime rib.